Bobby Taylor here, President of Heckscher Drive Community Club Incorporated. We're standing on the MV Jean Ribaud crossing from Heckscher Drive to Mayport Village. Mayport Village was founded May 1st, 1562 by Jean Ribaud and his crew. Little known fact is when they first came in the river, they landed first on the Heckscher Drive side, where they saw some Native Americans. After greeting the Native Americans, they crossed back over to the Mayport side to greet another group of Native Americans, thus the first ferry crossing of the St. Johns River on May 1st, 1562.
Stand by for a very loud whistle.
Good morning. It's 7:30 and I'm on my commute to work. It's the best commute in Northeast Florida. It's the best commute I've ever been on. While everyone else is stuck in traffic, maybe crossing a bridge, I'm crossing the river on the St. Johns River Ferry. I encourage you to ride the ferry and experience what I get to experience virtually every day. In the morning, it gives me time to collect my thoughts. In the evening, it gives me time to reflect on the way home without having to sit in bumper-to-bumper traffic as I commute home or to my office in Jacksonville Beach. It's a wonderful opportunity to see the St. Johns River, to see the different ecotourism opportunities in the state parks, the Timaquan Preserve, the city parks, Hannah Park or Huguenot Park. It abounds with opportunity for leisure time. It also is critical for business. This ferry in and of itself provides 18 full-time jobs and 33 jobs overall. It is an economic engine in a small business environment. But it also helps with the small businesses, the large businesses in the area, as far as commuting employees back and forth between both sides of the river. Without the ferry, there would be significant lost time. There would also be added expense, and of course the impact to the environment, as many automobiles had to make the 25 to 30 minute travel around to get to a bridge rather than directly cross on the St. Johns Ferry. The opportunities that the St. Johns River Ferry provide everyone is immense. It also is an integral part of the A1A system. That is the highway that runs from Key West all the way up to Maine. There's a break in the chain, there's a break in the road if the St. Johns River Ferry is not operating and not present. So it is critical that you support the ferry, enjoy the ferry. It'll give you much more back than it will take. It is a great economic opportunity to achieve whatever goal you set forth to do on either side of the river.
In 1999, they had a big scare around here when Hurricane Floyd skirted the coast. They thought it was going to come right into the Jacksonville area, but instead it stayed about 100 miles offshore. Nevertheless, they evacuated people from this area, and it was quite a melee from what I heard. I was working on the ferry at the time, and we ran the ferry until 4 o'clock on the day before the hurricane was supposed to come through as an evacuation route to get people off of the islands and stuff up here. And
okay, thank you very much.
then we took the ferry downtown because it was we had to moor it downtown, and we stayed through it for the whole time that the hurricane passed by and kept it manned up. And then we were right back out here as soon as we were given the okay. We were right back out here to handle the traffic, you know, going back to their residence and stuff after that. There's a lot of problems during wind storms when trees come down across roads, the bridges don't work right, and various things happen. And so it's good to have another access like the ferry to be able to handle that.
thank you so much for coming out here today and giving me an opportunity to tell you how important the ferry is for BAE Systems. The ferry's been a part of BAE Systems and Atlantic Marine since the early 1960s. What you see behind you is our latest construction project. It's a jack-up barge being built for the offshore wind energy. I want to talk to you today about the St. Johns River Ferry and how important it is to our employees and to this business. We have approximately 500 employees at this facility. We also have a facility on Mayport Naval Station. We routinely use the ferry to transport our employees back and forth between the two work sites. And it's not uncommon that an employee may work a couple weeks here and then go to the other facility depending on the workload. Every day we alternate people and equipment between the Mayport facility and the Heckscher Drive facility. So the ferry is very, very important to us. We have the choice whether we send somebody on the road and they spend 30 to 45 minutes in traffic, which is idle time for us, and also it's wear and tear on their vehicles, and we have to pay for their gas mileage and time to get over there. So we use the ferry in two ways. Number one is our commuting to and from the work, and number two, during our course of business every day, we use it all the time. Also, we will use the ferry to move equipment across the river. And from our perspective, the 30 minutes that we save having persons and equipment driving and put them on the ferry is a huge benefit to this business. So we believe this ferry is vital to our business. We believe it's vital to the North Florida area and all the tourists and all the people that work and live around here. Another reason we find the ferry important is we actually built it. We built the ferry that runs across the river and we maintain it. So it's a source of jobs and employment for our local people. And we pull the ferry twice out of the water every 5 years and do maintenance on it. The ferry and BAE are very close together, and we view it as very important to our success in being able to be a part of Jacksonville.
Ride the ferry to access the largest urban park system in the nation. The Timucuan Trail State National Parks in Jacksonville encompasses over 80,000 acres of park lands and waterways. Within it are state parks, city parks, and national parks. The opportunities are endless. Ride the ferry to the north and you can access Kingsley Plantation in the Timucuan Preserve, Fort George and Talbot Islands, and Huguenot Park. You can bird watch over 300 species of birds. You can kayak the waterways, segway in the woods, ride a horse on the beach. The opportunities truly are endless. Ride the ferry to the south and you can access Fort Caroline National Memorial, where you'll learn about the early French settlers who arrived here 450 years ago. Or you can also learn about the expanse of human existence, 6,000 years of history here in the Jacksonville area. Timucuan Preserve is the #1 tourist attraction in Jacksonville. Don't miss it. Ride the ferry.
I'm Mike Bakula. I was born at Fernandina Beach in 1947. Yeah, that's a long time ago, but it was only a year or so after that when the St. John's River Ferry service began in, I think, 1948. Some of my earliest memories as a child were formed riding on this ferry. My family would drive from Fernandina all the way down to visit family and friends near Daytona, all the way on A1A, and get the full A1A experience. I still ride the ferry frequently. Whenever I have an out-of-town guest that comes in for a visit, we always make time for a trip on the ferry. It's just part of the Northeast Florida way of life. It's always been here, and I hope it always will. But it's not just tourists and beachgoers and surfers and fishermen, recreation activities that use the ferry. It's also a lot of businessmen that use it. I consider the St. John's Ferry an essential link in what I call a corridor of commerce, if you will. There's so much business activity that takes place between the Jacksonville beaches, the Mayport Village area, Mayport Naval Station, the entire Heckscher Drive community on Fort George, and also on north through Mayport, through Fort George on up to Amee Island and Fernandina Beach. Ferry's used an awful lot, and we love it. Most recently, since I've retired, I've been involved in the bicycling community. We've been trying hard to build trails and off-road activities, bike lanes and sidewalks for multi-users. This summer, in 2012, the Amee Island Trail will begin construction on Amee Island. That trail will be approximately 6.2 miles long. It will run from the Nassau River north along A1A to Peters Point Park, a county park in the central part of Amee Island. At the same time, there's construction underway, and the next phase will be finished about the same time on the Timaquan Trail on the Talbot Islands. Talbot Island State Park is sponsoring much of that activity. Those two trails taken together are going to be a real boon for local cyclists, but they'll also become a part of a much larger bicycling system called the East Coast Greenway. The East Coast Greenway will originate on the northern tip of Maine, a town called Calais, Maine. It'll wind its way down the eastern seaboard, crossing 13 states, all the way down to Key West, Florida, for a grand total of somewhere around 3,000 miles. That's an epic bike journey for many people, and I hope to do it one day myself. If I don't, I'll still continue to ride locally, as will many others. But we all depend on the crossing of the St. John's River Ferry. Without that, we cyclists just don't have a good, safe, and legal way to get across the St. John's River. So I'd urge you to support the St. John's River Ferry service whenever and however you can. Thank you very much.
I'm taking the greatest way to travel home. I'm crossing the St. Johns River on the MV Jean Ribaud, and there's no better way to get home than to cross on this beautiful ferry, on this beautiful river, in a community that I love and many other people love. And there's no more beautiful way. You know, I see a lot of people standing on this vessel taking pictures, Kodak moments. And you don't see them standing in front of the Danes Point Bridge or the Acosta Bridge or the Main Street Bridge. I see a lot of people for recreational events, football games. I can tell what football game is being played by the flags and the tags on the vehicles crossing the St. Johns River Ferry. Because when they come to Jacksonville, it's one of the things people want to do. Because it's the only continuous operation ferry in the state of Florida. It is the only one south of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. It is a very, very beautiful way to go home every day, and it makes going home that much better.
Please support the ferry so it can stay open, because a lot of people need to go to school like me. And people need to go to the base. Well, sometimes there's not a lot of cars, so you can have like time to walk around. Sometimes we take the ferry just to visit my friends. If you've never read the ferry, please read it, and please support the ferry.